Okay, Oval fans, now episode 18 of season 5, Adjust and Adapt. Now, when I finished the episode, I felt like, just another run of the mill episode, but there were some key moments that, ironically enough, ties in the show to Ruthless and vice versa. And it's crazy to me because I just posted a video last week about how, yeah, at this point, I'm just going to treat Ruthless and the Oval as their own separate universes because, the Dale Pimp storyline kind of throws everything out of whack. But this episode pretty much solidified, Jeremy, no, it's like, no, 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 no. These shows are intertwined, but there is one key moment that I did laugh at because it was, ironically enough, my favorite scene of the episode. And that was when Simone and Bobby met up with Desiree and Cal to kind of compare notes. And they look over at a bulletin board, which has all kinds of photos and, key pieces of evidence to try to tie everything together in order to bring the administration down. And I believe it was Desiree that said, yeah, our department thinks we are focusing on a case involving a compound in Virginia. But really, we're putting all of our energy into this, which to me was freaking hilarious because it almost felt like a wink and a nod to me personally as a content creator who reviews the shows, where I said, you know what, Ruthless, I'm kind of done with it because they're at the compound, they're stuck there. We all know Ruth and, her team are probably not going to get out anytime soon because of the whole continuity where in the Oval, we are far ahead of Ruthless. So what's the point of watching the, plans to extort the money from the compound so they can leave when we know for a fact that Ruth, Callie, and River, they're still all at the compound. So for characters in universe to be doing as much research in the show as I do in real life, and on top of that say all our priority is the events of the Oval, while Ruthless is just something we're trying to, make our bosses think, yeah, we're doing our job, but we're really focusing on something bigger. So I just had to point that out. I love that moment. And yes, I will do a video where I break down everything that's on the bulletin board. There are some major, and I mean some major Easter eggs, especially for season 1 people, people who watch the first 1 or 2 seasons and stop. We got Denise on the board. We got Picky. We got Gail, and the list goes on. But the episode itself, you could really tell that the finale might actually be good because they are building up so much. And man, I just hope it doesn't disappoint. But I will say the weak link of the episode was definitely Nancy. This woman is just, I don't even know how to put it. I can kind of see where Barry gets it from. In terms of someone who just makes rash emotional decisions. And that is definitely Nancy. Okay, so Nancy is on her way to the meetup point, the address that Barry sent her. She is blowing up Richard's phone, but Richard is ignoring all of her calls, which to me, Richard, I understand you being mad, but if she's blowing up your phone that much, it's probably important. And even Priscilla's like, what if it's about Barry? Well, she can call Sam. And she does. Now, Sam is meeting up with, what's her name? Nia. She is the, reporter who's just randomly, well, no, I think Sam probably called her ahead of time to meet up because she was just standing in one of the, press conference rooms by herself with a notepad. So, yeah, I'm guessing Sam arranged for a meeting. Now, I don't know if Sam has hit that, but, I mean, I felt a little bit of flirtatious energy going on there when Sam was saying how I actually got to take care of something because Nancy calls as soon as he gets to the room and she tells him everything in regards to the mysterious phone call she got from Barry and it didn't sound like him. Nancy, send me the address and you go home right now. She goes to meet at the location, which is just stupid. I mean, oh man, because I'm like, okay, Sam, yeah, we're finally getting some information about the, the interview he wants to set up with Jason. So Sam tells the reporter, like, hey, we'll meet up somewhere else. But, wherever we go, it's just me and you, no cameraman or anything like that. I just need you, and you're going to have to be blindfolded. And the way she went, like, ooh, okay. It's like, oh, I don't know now. I think something might have gone on between these two. This reminds me, and look, I forgot this character's name. She was a one-off character. Back when I believe Catherine or Jim was in jail during the, later season of the Haves and the Have-Nots. It was probably Catherine. And David went down to the police station to try to talk with her. And there was this like attorney or lawyer or something that came from the back to talk to David. And this person, I believe she said something to the effect of she used to have a thing for David, but he was just, like Jennifer Salson said, loyal to a fault to Veronica. So he never cheated. So it's just one of those things where these two probably have a little bit of a history, and it wouldn't surprise me if they did. Just saying, Sam might have been getting around. But we do know that in the promo that we're going to follow up on the reporter storyline. So thankfully, we're going to pick up where we left off here. So at the end of the episode, Nancy gets to the address, and then she calls Sam with no answer. I mean, first of all, she gets out of her vehicle. It's pitch black. This graffiti just littered building. And when she hangs up because Sam doesn't answer the phone, this random dude comes up. Also, for whatever reason, at least in the episode that I found online to watch, during the end credit promo, there were no credits, so I wasn't able to see any of the names of the new characters. So this kind of big guy with a beard comes out of nowhere, kind of just, are you Nancy? Yeah. My son, do you have him? Where is he? Well, we need you to come inside. No, bring him out here. Did you bring the money? So she like pulls out this little envelope from her purse. The guy takes the money, and he's just baffled, like, you trying to trick me? What is this? Because there's barely any money at all. He's like, he said there was money in the house, in the drawer. And he just goes off and just randomly disappears. Now, I could be wrong, but here is my theory. I forgot what season. This was probably season 2 or 3. But from my recollection, I remember Barry, I think, finding the address somehow to the compound. I think this was after he got abducted and he was drugged and whatnot. So I think this was season 3. Like I said, I could be wrong. Feel free to correct me. He went to, the hood where Picky used to be. Because remember, excuse me, Picky was his cousin, or technically uncle. I forgot the relation because Picky was really Nancy's son. But in any case, his cousin was, murdered. But at the same time, everybody knows Barry. Barry went to the hood to get a bunch of gangsters and thugs to go to the compound. And then, save his daughter, but also give money. Now, he said there was money at the compound. They got a lot of money in that cult. So if we go get my daughter and whatnot, if we raid the place, then we can get, my daughter and all the money. You can have it. Maybe. And then I remember, like, they really didn't do anything with it. I think that they just rode around in circles or something trying to find, something out. But the search was just abandoned randomly. Maybe this is follow up to that. But in terms of money being in the drawer, remember when Barry was having it out with Sharon over whatever, probably Kareem related, and he brought some random girl to the house and they were having sex, and then Nancy walked in. That girl turned out to be a Rakadooshi member, and that girl ended up stealing the money that was in the dresser because I think Ruth had told her about the money that was in the dresser at Richard and Nancy's house and pretty much orchestrated a way to seduce Barry and take it. So in terms of money being in the house, there is no money. Now, if they really do have Barry, this is no doubt an orchestrated story. But again, I may be giving too much, thought into this storyline because it might end up being nothing, because Nancy decides it will be a good idea to go inside of this building. The building that this threatening guy tried to get you to go into. I have no words for how stupid this is. So she just looks around, goes in the front door, and then just walks in quietly, then looks and turns around a corner, and then the episode ends with her being shocked at something. Could this be Barry dead or knocked out? I don't. Folks, I have no idea. I've tried to come up with a theory. And now I'm going to steamroll through the rest of this review because there really isn't much else to talk about. So the episode starts in the Oval with Max telling Eli about the situation involving the bug found in the Oval office. Hey, there was no footage on the camera. We didn't find it being connected to any sort of outside device. And it seems that it wasn't there last night. It was basically here today. So it's possible that Agent Kane, I believe is his name, was the one who planted it. So no worries. But he does ask Eli, sir, did anything happen in here last night that, you want me to know about? He's like, no, why? It just seemed that you were really worried when, you thought that this camera had been here overnight. Oh, no, well, it's just like a breach of privacy and whatnot. And, it goes against protocol. So basically, I just need to reiterate it to everybody that Max, you and Bobby are the only ones who will be sweeping the Oval from now on. And I'm just so glad to have you here because I need somebody I can trust. So from there, he tells Max to, what was Max doing? I forgot. Oh yeah, to check on the first lady. Oh, if he only knew where the first lady was. But from there, Eli makes a call to get the cabinet assembled because, unlike Hunter, he actually does his job. So, from there, we go over to Donald's office. Alan checks in on him to make sure he's okay because remember, after getting tased, he was denied any sort of medical attention. So as a result, he pretty much had to heal up on his own. But he wants Alan to check to see what kind of team or, agents are watching the bunker because he wants to go down there and see Victoria alone. Now, he is aware that, for whatever reason, Hunter's new team might be down there. So he's just taking the precautions. And it turns out that Team 9 is on the bunker. So that gives Donald some leeway. Now, I personally think this was on purpose because remember, Hunter told Isaac, you know what, let's get audio and visuals in the bunker to see if Donald makes a move to go down there by himself. And I'm guessing that Hunter on purpose had lesser intimidating agents watching the bunker. That way Donald can get easy access in. So before going down there, Donald calls Kyle to see where he is. But, Kyle just gives him a BS excuse about being on an errand. We all know he was at Dale's apartment. Or, Alan's apartment talking with Dale. Donald easily doesn't buy it. So from there, Dale actually calls Alan saying that, look, when you get here, we need to talk. Kyle was here and there's something I need to tell you. Alan's like, look, why don't you just tell me right now? Well, I can't talk to you while you're there at work. So why did you call in the first place? Okay, well, just, I'll tell you when you get home. Dale, yes? Remember, it's my home. Oh, yeah. So, we have Victoria who's knocked out. I mean, in the recap of the last episode, right before the recap ended after she fell, we saw some blood, dripping out. I'm like, wait a minute. I don't remember, any blood in the last episode, but apparently she hit the toilet so hard that she started bleeding from the forehead. Antonio and Kareem are just freaking out. And, Antonio's like, look, try to wake her up. Why don't you grab her and try to, pull her over here? And I'm thinking to myself, what is that supposed? I don't know. I mean, they're panicking, but it just goes back to Kareem's just random plan of grabbing her. That made no sense. So basically, Antonio's like, look, we got to try to help her out or we're done. And Kareem is like, well, we just got to deny doing anything. And my biggest, what the heck are you talking about to that is regarding, you literally grabbed her. Your fingerprints are on her, like, arms, her hands, her nightgown. And I think Antonio was trying to grab her by, like, the ankles. So, yeah, you're pretty much screwed. They're going to know you did it. Now, from there, Donald comes in. He's freaking out, and he doesn't buy the fact that Victoria just ran into the wall and then fell on the toilet or whatever. And he says, you're done for. So after Donald leaves in a huff, Antonio and Kareem just have a moment of clarity like, we're screwed, right? Yep. We're going to die, right? Yep. Well, we're going to die standing with our heads held high. Yep. I'm like, again, what was the point of all this? So in the meantime, Hunter's in his bed watching the entire thing go down. So somehow they were able to add the visuals and audio to the bunker, I guess, without the prisoners knowing something. I don't know. Maybe when Priscilla went down, I have no idea how they were able to set things up where they can see and hear everything. Because again, you would think Antonio, Kareem, and Victoria would have seen this going on. Maybe there were already those devices somewhere in the bunker and all they had to do was flip a switch. I don't know. But in any case, Hunter's like, well, good thing we had this stuff installed. And I like those boys. They actually tried to do me a favor by trying to take out Victoria. So Isaac suggests getting her to the infirmary. And Hunter's like, yeah, do that because I want to go see her. So I'm sorry. It's just funny to me that, he's just like a cartoon villain sitting in bed like, yes, take each other out. Do me a favor, kids. Okay. So over at the kitchen, like I mentioned before, Nancy's blowing up Richard's phone and he's ignoring all the phone calls. This was probably one of my favorite Richard scenes in several episodes. So Priscilla tries to, convince him to answer. No, I'm not going to do it. But she does talk about the bunker visit. Yeah, he really does have his wife down there in the bunker. And Richard just talks smack. He's like, oh, these people are crazy. It's like, they doing all this stuff, raising all this hell. Richard. Oh, it's not like she's going to come in. She's locked in the bunker, and it's not like he's going to walk down here to come into the kitchen. So I want to talk my shit. I'm like, go ahead, Richard. Because remember, he's usually the one calming Priscilla's ass down. Priscilla, you can't say that. We're at work. Oh, I don't care, Richard. I'll say whatever I want. So from there, she talks about the whole ordeal about Hunter and his deals. Like, look, she's really locked up. I'm probably going to play the game. I'll act like I'm on his side. And then I'll use my phone and record, the story and then reveal it. So we have something to bust these guys. And then the subject turns to, wait, but should we tell Sam about this? And Richard's like, well, no, we don't answer to the same people. Folks, can you believe it? Last week, didn't I do a short talking about, man, when was the last time the CIA stuff was relevant to the plot point? And I'm talking about Richard and Priscilla being CIA undercover agents and whatnot. Way back in season 2 that was mentioned and it was never brought up again. But here we go where they're like, hey, we answer to other people. What? So my mind was blown. It felt like this episode was specifically written to reel me back into the show. So from there, Richard just continues to ignore Nancy's calls. Now, Priscilla goes up to deliver some tea to the residency, and Isaac checks it again. She goes in there to talk to Hunter, and he's like, well, I went down there to the bunker. You were right. Your wife was down there. And then this part makes me go, wait a minute. So was Hunter listening in on Richard and Priscilla's conversation, or are things just falling into place so perfectly that it almost seems too good to be true? So Priscilla obviously still doesn't trust Hunter. So this man goes so far to say, hey, you know what? I'll let you record everything. I'll tell you everything I know. And then, hey, how about this? Let's get you on recording and you tell me everything you know. We'll put everything together and release it. Because as soon as I gather my strength up, then we can put Eli and Victoria away for good. I'm like, wait a minute now. Because now on the flip side of things, you got Sam who has... This is why I wish the whole Priscilla, Sam crap wasn't happening. Because now you have father and son both willing to expose the truth to get the necessary people locked away. And if these two would put their resources together, then we can finally be done with this crap. But nope, I just have a feeling everything's going to fall apart. But in any case, Hunter says he wants to go see Victoria, so you go and get your phone, and then I'll see you a little later. So in the infirmary, Donald comes in there and talks to the doctor, who talks about how she really hit her head bad and was bleeding, but, she should be fine. But he steps out, and the moment he steps out, Donald leans over to Victoria. Come on, girl. You're too evil to die. And then she wakes up. I had to do something drastic. So it seems like she purposefully fell the way she did, just to get out of the into the infirmary to escape the bunker. So interesting. Interesting indeed. But it went a little too far because she said, yeah, I staged it, but it was a bit too much. So in any case, she has this plan. I need you to get in Hunter's good graces again. Go up to our room, and there's a purple bottle in the vanity drawer. She wants to start slipping some pills into his food in order to mess up his legs so they'll stop, they won't really heal up and they'll just not be functional. It's something that affects the lower spine and whatnot. And I'm thinking, dang, this is going to be crazy. Like, they're really going that far. But then again, she did have those drugs laced, so this isn't out of the realm of impossibility. But remember, Hunter's whole thing is he has to get his strength back to look strong in front of the country to maintain his or regain his position. So, 2 scenes left. Kyle in Donald's office calls Dale, and there's a 3-way call. Apparently, he orchestrated a way to getting the pimp arrested, and he tried to plant it on Dale. And he has this deal where, hey, I'll tell you Dale's address, phone number, everything, but you got to pay me. And it turns out, this pimp doesn't know who Kyle is. So Kyle is just, I don't know, just either using a fake name or just hasn't revealed anything at all. And essentially, this is his way of showing Dale, hey man, I told you I was serious about this pimp, so you better get your act together and come over there to my place later tonight. So here's the thing though. The reason that Dale is so important is just like any standard pimp. One of the people working for me, they're loyal to me and they try to run, they're going to get punished. He was making good money with me. So after Dale hangs up and Kyle calls him back, like, why'd you hang up? Look, I get it. You're serious. Well, let me send you a picture. And it's a picture of Dale's dead parents because of the fact that he said that the pimp took him out because he was looking for Dale. Now, this could tie into the Ruthless continuity. Kyle could just be feeding Dale some BS because remember in Ruthless, it was Paula and Lacey that killed Dale's parents, if I remember correctly. So Kyle could have just gotten this photo stuff and then sent it to Dale to freak him out, which again shows that Dale canonically would have left Virginia before his parents were killed. So the storylines are still kind of wonky there. I don't know. But in any case, he's like, hey, look, come over to my place tonight so I can comfort you. It's like, you didn't love your parents anyway. I mean, you all had that falling out because you're gay. Stop it, Kyle. So in the midst of, Kyle trying to smooth over Dale, Donald walks in. So he hangs up the phone. So basically, he wants Kyle to go down to the bunker to figure out what happened to Victoria. And the final scene to talk about is the scene that I talked about at the beginning of the video. We got Bobby and Simone. Simone's still hidden away in the trunk. And she gets out when Desiree and Kyle show up. They go into the warehouse, compare notes. Bobby is very skeptical of all of this stuff. It's like, how well do you know these guys? And apparently Simone has been working with Desiree and Kyle this entire time. That leads to the bulletin board. And, Bobby's like, impressive, but there's one problem. What do you mean? Ask them if they know. About what? Eli has been having an affair with the first lady. And they're like, oh no. Because 1, they had no idea. And 2, Bobby was on his game. This puts a major wrench in their entire operation. Simone's like, look, we want to bring him down. Now we know that if Hunter goes down, Eli's made president. But Eli's been working with Victoria this whole time. So we need to bring him down as well. And then Bobby's like, well, if we bring them down, you're going down too. What do you mean? They're going to try to drag you into this somehow. So now Desiree's like, yeah, we got to play this differently. We got to keep it close to the vest. So Simone, I know this is going to hurt, but you need to continue to play nice with Eli until we find some way to come up with some concrete evidence that you had nothing to do with this. And that's the only way to make sure you don't go down with the ship. So I really like the plot point of, hey, these people have all this information. It seems like everything's going to fall together. But now Simone is caught in this trap where it's like, dang it. Now I got to play nice even more until I find some way of clearing my name. I like this. It's not a, oh, somebody does something stupid so it all blows up. No, it's a legitimate reason why they have to play the game differently. I like this. I really like it. But overall, that's my, whole review on the episode. Like I said, I was originally going to give it like a 5, but these key details, pointing back to Ruthless and the fact that Eli's affair with the First Lady messes things up to an extreme. So now they really do have to play things out differently. I like how things are, unfolding there. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below on the episode. Like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.